All right, folks, here we are with yet another tier list. We got Elec Cross. Who else would you expect? We've got the crosses of the game, and we even have the beasts of the game, which is pretty exciting. Including the regular baseline beasts, which is pretty hard to, you know, that might be hard to judge them in a vacuum, but we're going to try our best. And yeah, right now we're starting off with Heat Cross. Just plain old Heat Cross. Once again, keep in mind the beasts are separate. The beasts are separate. Good old Heat Cross. What's your take? He does increase your buster level by 1. So your P shots can deal 6 damage. I believe that the charge value does not go past 5. Same goes with you know, the Heat Beast you know, out buster, but he does that. You know, his charge attack is a flamethrower. What's our take on Heat?
Yeah, so I think definitely I feel like he slept on so hard, but in comparison to the other crosses, B tier, high B tier for Heat Cross is definitely right. See,
my gut is C, but like we also have not fleshed out the list at all. Oh yeah, let's yeah. You're right. There's no D's. Yeah, I think that's fair. Let's get rid of D tier.
I think putting him in C is a little. I don't think that's right because the baseline is his charge shot does so much damage and it can do double damage on grass and it also decrosses Tomahawk Cross and it's a line nuke. Like the Gregar crosses do so much damage, dude.
Yeah, I guess I'm just looking at the rest of the list and I'm like, how else? Like, what else is a C tier cross? Because it's tough because it's like. You're not wrong about those things, but charge is just so good. It's like, charge is like, I can't really think of too many ways I would use regular Heat Man or Heat Cross over Charge Cross. You know? Once the beasts come into play, I think then it becomes more nuanced, but I don't know. I'm just looking at the rest of these and it's tough. That's hard. Why don't we come back to him? Let's come back to him. Let's go to Tomahawk. Let's come back. I mean, because like I think let's look at other crosses before we start throwing them there, you know, because I don't know.
I really think you're undervaluing what Heat Cross does. Like you're comparing it to other crosses. I can understand that, but
yeah, I mean, if there were no Charge Cross, like there's no question, like
I don't even think Charge Cross is necessarily like that much better, right? Like, yeah, okay, he does some good stuff. I'm not going to sit here and cap and say, but Heat Cross it's really good damage. You don't understand. I don't know how to stress that enough.
It's not hard to set the grass. It's true. It's not hard to set the grass.
It's not even about the grass, bro. Yeah. Like his charge shot, I think it does like 160 or 170 charge shot.
But it's like it's just so hard to give him the B when it's like, you know, Elec in a race and you know, it's like that's what gets me. It's like it just gets hard to like. But once again, this is where we started with probably the hardest cross, to be honest with you. I can't imagine another baseline cross being as hard as Heat. So let's just hold out on him, right? Because I could be persuaded. I could definitely be persuaded that he's like a solid B, maybe even a really, really high B. But yeah, I think let's just hold on to him or maybe get a pull because I'm like, I don't know. It's hard to start off the charge cross list just going that way. I think, but I think Tomahawk is a very interesting debate. Tomahawk is a wood Navi or wood cross. You do heal on grass, but you take a lot of damage from fire. You got the charge attack. It's basically a life sword swing that also is some sword damage, and he gives you a status guard, which is the only way to get status guard in the not patch card metagame. What do we think about Tomahawk?
100% S tier. Yeah, he does way too much for you to not be able to.
He's the closest. He's the closest thing to the fun police, and he's just good on his own. Like even if you don't consider this, like even without the status guard package, he'd still be pretty solid. But the status guard, I think that's just literally the only way to get it. Which
notice is how we put him in S, and you didn't even mention that he can chip charge like grass chips for double damage.
Oh yeah, double boomers, right? Double risky honey, double points. Yeah, no, you're right. Doubling it is insane, and it's not even that slow of a double. Like you can charge up that A pretty quickly, which is pretty phenomenal. Yeah, extremely good. All right, Aqua Cross coming in. Aqua Cross is a very, very fast charge, little Aqua bubbler. You heal for 50 every time you use a water attack that doesn't, time freeze. He can freeze on ice panels, and he can also double water attacks. What do we think about Aqua?
Aqua is definitely B. I would put Aqua and Heat Cross in B.
Okay, so hear me out. I think B is great for Aqua, but I also love that like he's probably the best way to fish for anti-damage. I feel like he's like a really good, he's got some other good uses. I'm not saying A tier, but I think top of B is a really solid spot for Aqua.
Definitely, because he can also double damage on Bubble Stars.
Yeah, Bubble Stars, Aqua Dragons every now and then, I think that's solid. I think that's really solid. All right, Slash Cross. He is very aggressive. It's effectively Life Sword range, because he can hit a little bit beyond with his charge attack. Your swords get plus 50. You can charge them up to, I think, do a Sonic Boom. And he's also very weak to ground. What's our take on Slash?
Again, his sheer damage output, S tier. I have to put him up there.
Do you think S? I was thinking really high A. I was thinking really high A.
Nah, S tier, because every folder needs to have an answer to Slash Cross. That's how good that cross is. If your folder does not have an answer, or at least ways to circumvent that disadvantage state, he's the reason why Meteor Knuckles is so good. He's the reason why.
I mean, you're not wrong, but it's also so bad. It's
What's
like
bad?
To be hit by the Groundman SP and that goes down. That's not like magical fairyland. Like, you get hit by those chips and it's like, yikes.
Yeah, true.
I think really high. I think the highest A. I feel really uncomfortable putting him in S with such like a huge weakness, with a really, really big weakness. But you're also right that he has that weakness because of it,
Slash and S? I've seen people get destroyed because of Slash by himself.
But I don't think, you know what I mean? It's like, is S and A that different? And I feel like at a certain point, you got to look at that weakness and say, that has to mean something, It has to mean something. I mean, I agree. He's extremely good. I think the highest A without a doubt. The highest A without a doubt. But you think even with that massive weakness, he's still S tier worthy?
I mean, it is a massive weakness. I just think not putting it. He's won games on his back despite that.
For sure. No.
That's what I'm thinking.
No, you're right. No, you're right.
I don't know.
No,
if
you're right.
S tier, what's S tier?
No, you're right. I've
seen Erase. Okay, let me put it into perspective. I've seen Erase Cross win some games, right?
Okay.
But I've never seen Erase Cross carry a game as hard as Slash Cross can.
You know what? I think you're right.
I've seen Erase Beast. I've seen Erase Beast carry games. Sure, okay, yeah, I'll give you Erase Beast. Sure. But I've never seen Erase Cross just destroy games as easily as Slash has.
Yeah. No, you sold me. And I'm going to put the bottom of S, which doesn't mean that much, only because of that massive weakness. But I'm glad he has a massive weakness because he would be downright oppressive if he didn't have, something. If he didn't have something like the fact that we can even put him in S with such a huge weakness, I think says a lot about his power. All right, we got Tengu. Okay, Tengu is wind. He gives plus 10 to your winds, which doesn't mean much. He's got the back B to bring him forward. His charge attack is the wind rack, which is a way worse slash lock, but you can get it in the back row. He's very weak to sword, which is scary, but he's also probably the best way to get rid of life aura and barriers. What are we thinking?
Instant S. Instant S. Instant S. This cross does everything, bro. Easy as bro.
I mean, he's the reason life aura is a fair chip. He's the reason.
Slash Cross and Gregar, bro.
Oh, and also air shoes. I'm sorry, I completely missed air shoes, which is super relevant.
Yeah, he does everything,
which is super relevant. Now, once again, just like Slash, big weakness, right? Muramasa, Protoman SP. There are some very, very scary things that happen in
Neo variable. Yep. Big weaknesses.
Yeah. Now, at a certain point, we are gonna have to really think hard about S and A because, it's getting. This is once again why I was I'm nervous about certain other ones, but we'll see how these go. It's tough. How about 35-minute upload? Okay, yeah, that's okay. Awesome. Now we've got Erase Cross, which is a +30, a static +30 to your cursors. He's got that beam, which is pretty good. Like the wind up on the beam, like you basically launch it right away. It lasts for an annoying amount of time, so you can get punished, but also it's just long enough that the opponent will step into it, like right when they think it's about to go away. And it also pierces invis. It doesn't pierce anti-damage. It's not actual cursor. But yeah, Erase is cool. I think like A. I could see a B. I don't know. He's very strong. But I think like the real power of Erase Cross is with the Beast.
Yes.
I think I could see a B. I could see a B or maybe an A.
I wouldn't say B for Erase. High A for Erase because he invis pierces with that charge shot, and the cursor damage is usually irrelevant, right? And the whole okay when I do damage with your number 4 is also irrelevant, but kind of similar to Heat Cross. He just has a really good charge shot. His is even better because you can be in your back row and still
still get it, and it's really fast. And honestly, like I find myself walking into it all the time.
Yeah,
like I find myself like it's you know a Heat Cross, you can dodge that in the back row. Obviously, it's very quick if they're right in front of you. But like it's the when you're playing that footsies game, it's really hard to stay out of the erase range. It can be really tricky.
And again, this does support my argument for putting Slash and S, and that's. This Cross does not win games on his back alone. You usually see that Beast Out come in for him, right?
Yeah.
Like Slash Cross doesn't pierce the Invis, but with that single area grab, there is no more footsies. There is no decision making. It's either you got the shield or defense or not, and you're taking this damage. But Erase is like, you can play footsies around him. You might take a damage here and there, but that wind usually scares the crap out of him. That wind rack is in every folder. And it's not that hard to go Beast Out Wind Rack on this dude. Or Tengu Star. It's not. The static is also huge. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think high A is good.
Cool. Next up is Dust Cross. He sucks up those obstacles with back B. He digs with his shuffling. He's got a charge attack that is kind of slow, but will break panels. Yeah, I think an S without a doubt, but I'm curious.
There's no discussion to be had, bro. S tier. Like he do everything too.
Yeah.
Just getting through your folder in ways that you can plan. You can theory craft when you're gonna draw that exact hand at the beginning of the game. Like, okay, this is the order I'm gonna get it because by that time I should have found these chips, and now this is gonna work out just the way I planned it. And yeah, no, he's good. He's good.
Yeah, very good. All right, Elec Cross. I'm sorry, Dust Cross. I know. Ground Cross. He digs underground. He's he's pretty slow for offensive, but he's got some defensive capabilities with a drill arm. He gives you super armor. I think that's it. I guess you can charge him up for some rocks or something if you got breaking attacks. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think about ground? I think it might be our first C.
Yeah, I think he's going to be the very first C that we would get. The reason why I say C for ground, because he has exactly 2 niches. To get back super armor and to help you beat BDT. If your opponent doesn't have BDT, then okay. Then I guess I can go into him for some damage. The charge shot's kind of slow and very punishable.
Super punishable. Yeah.
So
that is, amen to that.
I would put him in C.
Yeah, I think easy C. There are many games I never use him. Like without
the reason why I also don't really value the super armor from him very highly is because he gets decrossed by cursor chips, dude. And
yeah, they're super common.
Super common.
Yeah, super common. Yeah. All right, next up is Elec Cross. He gives plus 50 to your electric chips. You can charge up neutral attacks for paralysis. His charge beam is pretty quick. It's another row lock or another row. What do you think about Elec?
Now, this is a hot take.
Okay.
Elec is definitely low S or high A. And it's simply because that charge shot, nothing else about Elec really matters. It's just that charge shot is just so good. Like,
it's
you
fast.
don't really see people going for the whole, okay, I can chip charge them, give paralysis. We don't really care about that. We care about that charge shot. And that their charge shot is good. So we put him in A.
I think really high A, right?
Really high A. If not low S. Like,
he's and I'll tell you too, he's got some other cool niches. Like you're right, the paralysis isn't that big of a deal, but like he makes the Elec dragons hit Life Aura, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
And the charge shot's like super solid. I agree. I think that's solid. Charge Cross. He is a fire cross on Gregar. Every turn you get custom +1, caps out at 3. His charge attack gives you invincibility frames for basically the entire duration of it. You can also charge up a fire attack by holding A. It takes forever. What's our take on Charge Cross?
It's an A. I definitely would put him in A. The custom value you get from him, the charge tackle gives you invulnerability frames, so it's a better way to check BDT than ground crosses. Because you can still potentially do damage with that charge tackle too, right?
Yeah,
I think it's really good.
It's so annoying, like fighting against Charge Cross when you're like trying to time your time freeze attack, and it's like it gets real awkward. Honestly, the more that I'm seeing this list, the more I think B is totally fine for Heat Cross.
Yeah,
because he does. Bro. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah,
no, you've had to read the entire time. But can I tell you, my read the entire time was that S was going to be way too populated. So I was like, how do you even differentiate the other crosses? But I'm very ready to put him at high B. I think Aqua's better, personally.
I think Aqua's better because of the ×2 with the bubble stars and the Aqua Dragons.
And for sure. And some fun freeze tactics every now and then.
Exactly. If Heat Dragon just did 150, I could put him up there.
Yeah,
but Heat Dragon does the
140. Break those life for us. Yeah. All right. Now we've got just the actual beasts. No spicy little charges on them. These are hard to evaluate in a vacuum. But in fact, I wonder if it's worth. Do you think we should reset the crosses and then do the beasts on their own, or do you think it's worth having
in a vacuum? I think that's fine.
Okay. Gregar, just straight up Gregar gives you super armor, a very 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 fast machine gun. Caps out at 5, and then if you charge up normal neutral attacks, he does a double slash that's decently powerful, actually pretty powerful. What's your take on just baseline Gregar?
Easy A. This dude does a lot. Like no, I feel like A is good for him. Like you don't take elemental damage, and those chip charges are so good. Like I really do think they're undervalued.
I will say one other cool thing about baseline Gregar is that you can get full sync. Which is interesting. Oh, and I forgot the +30 on neutral, which matters for Kernel Force, right? And probably that's the only chip it really matters for. Probably the only one it really matters for. But yeah. No, I think A is fine. I don't know where to put him on the A list. I'm just gonna separate him for now. Maybe we'll figure out a ranking later. But
just keep him. We'll make this a slightly different placing for them.
Yeah, he's cool. I see Honor talking about B, and I think that's also like there's some reasonableness to that, but I think A is a super valid spot for him personally. You're putting base beast at the same place as something like Heat.
That's fair. Hold on.
that is fair. And I don't know that full sync. Yeah, no, and I don't think full sync is like that relevant all the time that you would use that over not.
No, I think that's correct. I think it would be B.
Yeah, I think that's fair too. No, Honor Knight nailed it. All right, now we got Falzar. The feather booster is not the most aggressive. It's a little slower. It occasionally hits the panels up ahead of you. And you got Omni Shoes, which is probably the best thing about it. You also get your +30 to neutrals. You charge it up for some slashes. What do you think about Falzar?
All right, I gotta say A. No, this guy has to go in A. Those shoes matter so much. I've seen Falzar players not even care about the cross. They just hit that button just so they can escape. And that alone for me is enough. I would put Falzar in A.
Yeah. No, it's solid. He's definitely good. All right, now we got Heat Beast. Pretty much the same, right? You get the extra shot to your booster, which I guess, or your buster, which might matter if you're somehow lower than 5. I will say the heat breath, I'm pretty sure does penetrate life aura. Pretty sure it does exactly 200, right? Or maybe even more.
I think it does
I'm pretty
200.
I know the Elec Beast does not break Life Aura, and I know that the Fire does. I know the Heat does.
I think Heat Beast does 220 or something like that. Like, I think he's one of the higher ones.
Well, the difference is, it does, the difference is it basically does break Life Aura, which I think matters. I'm with Jewel, and I kind of think it's hard to put the Beast crosses with the crosses. They're like pretty different, but I don't know. Let's see how this list looks at the end of the day.
Okay, Heat Beast apparently does 200 with the chip charge. I think I would still put him in A.
A? I would put him in B still. You think A? You think it's that? Do you think it's that relevant? I
think because it breaks Life Aura. It's very difficult to dodge. Like that range is ridiculously good, and it does a lot of damage.
Yeah, and same thing. You know, you get your grasses, your grass panels, your ways to buff it and do other great stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I can live with that. Okay. Elec, very very similar. Does not break Life Aura, but it does, and it's slower I think as well. But it does crack panels and it does stun them.
Another A.
Yeah,
over
I think
Heat Beast.
Yeah, I was about to say got to be higher, but yeah, another really good one. Another maybe I don't know how to mix up the crosses and not, but yeah, really high.
I think it's even better than normal Falzar. Obviously, like it's really good.
Yeah, the only reason I haven't gone all the way at the top of A because I'm like still kind of breaking them up a little bit.
I would keep them separate. Keep the Beast on the back. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah, but yeah. Tons of utility, breaking those sanctuary panels, stunning, which means you can punish with your buster a little bit more. Yeah, they're solid. All right, Slash Beast. Funny enough, I think worse than Slash because you miss your wonderful charge shot. I will say the Beast attack, that X, is very powerful if you can get that front row X. It's kind of like Cross Divide or like, kind of like, Neovari or whatever. But I do think Slash Beast is worse than Slash Cross. And by a decent margin. By a decent margin.
You can still get Kernel Force and then go for the chip charge and hit the X in the center guaranteed. You can do something like stacking flash bombs on the same spot and then mix in some chip charges there. So he has some cute stuff that you can do with Slash Beast. But honestly, I would put him in C. That's not something you arguably do all the time.
Yeah, because not only is it that, but you also have you basically get none of the pressure of Slash Cross with all of the weaknesses. Like, those weaknesses was the reason I was, like, sweating bullets. I was like, this is probably an A. You know what I mean? And you sold me, because I was like, no, you're right. This carries games. Like, this is just actually, like, a win con in so many cases. You are giving up so much, right? You're giving up so much, and you get that really, really awful weakness, which is just horrendous. Just horrendous. So, that being said, we got Erase Beast. You do get that cursor damage, unlike the Killer Beam that you get from Erase Cross. It is super hard to dodge. It can be dodged. Super hard to dodge. And it even gives you an HP bug. And because it pierces invis and anti-damage, it's basically like a little Erase Man. What are we thinking?
This cross, similarly to Tengu, or Tengu Beast even, invalidates defense.
Yeah, completely.
It literally invalidates every form of
I'm pretty sure it even breaks Life Aura.
Yeah, it breaks the Life Aura.
Which is so silly. It should not. Yeah.
S tier.
No.
S tier immediately.
S tier. Yeah. Well, I'll keep them separate. I agree. So powerful, so good, and very hard to dodge. It can be done, but man, is it hard to dodge. So hard to dodge. Yeah, I strip banned it. Yeah, I strip banned it from our weaker power event because I was like, it's too easy if you just invalidate every defense. Yeah, it's tough. All right. Now we got Charge Cross. He's got his charge attack. Like, I guess it kind of stuns him in place and does like a projectile of sorts. Yeah.
Unfortunately, another C tier for Gregar. Yeah. Like, it does have some cool tech where you can end the turn with immobilization and they can't cross cancel out of immobilized effects. So, unless they have, like, I think float shoes or something like that. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, something
but
like
you can do, like, end a turn, go for the beast charge, and then, like, cross cancel into your next turn and then have a free follow-up. But, yeah, he doesn't do anything else.
This just reminds me so much of Slash Cross, where it's like the charge attack is so nice. Getting those iframes as your invincibility as you're tackling and pressuring you know, and then getting those chips, stacking up those chips, it's like just worse, you know, giving up that for the Beast Buster. All right, now we got Aqua Beast. The chip charge is like a longsword range tornado. I think it hits multiple times. What's our take on Aqua Beast?
Now, this is coming from the guy that has seen people go for the Aqua Spiral and then lose games immediately after it. Like, I've never seen such misfortune for a Beast Over ability. Other than I think we make it F tier and we put that in F tier. Like,
you think it's that bad? I mean, I see Honor and I talking about it.
So Aqua Spiral hits in a longsword range, and it does a massive lot of damage. If you get that off, it does a lot of damage. It's not bad.
Okay, sure.
But people literally lose after they do it. Like, I've never seen.
How about bottom of C? Only because you still get the Omni shoes, right? Like there's still some uses, and even if you never use that charge attack, you know, you're still like doing some stuff. You're still doubling up your waters. But yeah, obviously once again worse than baseline because Aqua Cross, such a fast charge. You know, you can get those freezes. You can really pressure the anti-damage. Yeah, I think that's fine. All right, we got Tomahawk Beast, which is pretty cool. It's the double boomers as you swing them out. What's your take on him?
High A tier. Like, that beast charge is actually really strong, and the fact that it hits twice in that range is really good too. It doesn't flash either.
I was about to say because it doesn't flash. I've been hit by it multiple times just trying to dodge it in an unoptimal way. Like, it's like you don't get the invincibility as you get hit by one of them. So it's like, you know, if you're not thinking clearly about movement as you do it, I think it's pretty unfortunate. And yeah, pretty accurate and pretty fast too. It's like even when you know they're coming, it's not always easy to be in that middle row. So I'll put them at the top of A for the Beast. All right, Tengu Beast. Very, very quick charge. That Tengu Breath hits multiple times. I think 3 times if they're 3 away. What do we think?
Tengu Beast, yeah, still has the same abilities as Tengu Cross, of course, so I have to immediately put him in S just because of that. And then you have that Beast Breath. It's really good. I think that's an S tier. Tengu Beast is definitely really strong. I agree.
And unlike Slash Cross, he's worth the weaknesses of of what you're throwing into it.
It's scary, in fact, though.
It is scary.
The reason being, you're doubling up on your air shoes availability in one resource, right? Because it's Tengu and the Beast Out. So
you lose a lot.
Yeah. But it's still really strong.
For sure. Now, unlike a lot of these other ones, Ground Beast, in my opinion, does get better. You do get the green invincibility, so nothing can stop you, as you do the big lunge forward. What's our take on Ground Beast?
Again, the same abilities as the original Cross before it. Ground Beast actually it's one of Falzar's best, strongest attacks in the form of that charge, if you don't get all the hits on the Tengu Breath. Yeah, I definitely think he's an A tier. I think Ground Beast is really good. That invincibility too, yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah, no, it's very good, I think. Sorry, give me again, did you say A? What did you say for it?
Yeah, definitely A.
Yeah. How about, do you think bottom of A? I might even say top of B, but I think bottom of A seems pretty okay to me.
I think bottom of A is pretty good.
Okay. I'm just looking at the poor B tier, and I'm like, they need some more friends, but yes, we shouldn't think like that. We should be objective here. Okay. And the final one is Dust Beast. You go up in the air, you fire a bunch of little dust-breaking obstacles. What do we think about Dust Beast?
It is the most used beast. Like, yeah, S tier. I have to put him in S tier. That chip charge has invulnerability frames. The moment he moves, there's iframes there. You are no
really the moment he moves. Bro. I would have thought you could still have a little bit of a window.
Oh nah, like you have to do it before you let go of that charge. That joint is frame 1 invulnerability. Like the second it happens, you're good. And then it breaks. Oh no, rather it cracks panels. It cracks. Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. And it's pretty solid. It also, like you said, cracks panels. You get the invincibility. Can be kind of hard to dodge. And you know, even if you don't actually hit the opponent at all, you're still like spamming cracks over the opponent's side. I like it. I feel like Tengu and Erase are still a bit better. I'm gonna put it at the bottom of it. Maybe that's
bottom S,
yeah. I think that's fine. But yeah, I think
honestly, you know what? I know you might not agree.
Okay.
But I even think Erase shouldn't be an S. I think Erase is S+. I think that is the best beast in the game. That is the best beast cross in the game.
I strongly agree. I hate it. I hate playing against it. It's so powerful. It's so hard to dodge. Do we think it's worth making a whole new tier just for it? Do we think it's better than really everything else? And by a margin. Really do we think it's better? Margin. You got it. You got it. I honestly, I literally banned it from my friendly format because it was that good. You know what I mean? Like I can't. I have no leg to stand on. It is so hard to dodge. The fact that it breaks Life Aura.
Yeah.
The fact that it breaks Life Aura is crazy. And like, it's not always easy to hit it with a wind chip. You know, unless they basically need Tengu Man, or they need their own beast with a wind rack to actually get in there. Now, Onright's saying still S, it loses value on fast gauge and has a long charge. What do you say to that?
Honestly, fast gauge kind of messes with a lot of the Gregar Beast charges in general. Obviously, Erase does have a much longer wind-up time than, say, Heat and Elec Beast. I think fast gauge kind of messes up with beast charges in general, honestly. I think it's a little unfair to look at just the one chip and say, hey, yeah, this kind of hurts it. But I understand his point. I still think it's the best because you can defend against this temporarily with a barrier or a life aura. Otherwise, you can't defend against this. Everything else here, you can move around, you can try to dodge. It is unless you have ice panels up or warp step, it is very, very hard to avoid these erase tail arrows.
Oh, and even today, I saw ice panels not do enough. You know, like even today, I still saw the tail connecting. And you have to think about the chips that you're throwing away to deal this massive damage. They're like, you know, leftover area grabs, right? They're like your panel grab that's not doing any work, you know, or not your panel grab, your panel return, your repair, whatever. You know, it's like your extra copy of slow gauge or whatever. Like, you're turning these absolutely dead chips into basically unavoidable, you know,
200 damage nukes, bro. 210 damage nukes.
HP bugs too. Bugs too, and like just like no defense is gonna stop it, which is pretty crazy. So I'll take it. I think this is fine. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with this tier list. This looks overall. Would anyone have any last minute hot takes before we wrap this one up? Because I think this is pretty solid. I like it. All right, gang. Well, I don't know if this Thiago upload is ever going to happen. It seemed like it's a